up? What up?
Woo, let's fucking go, man.
Welcome to the Midnight Hour, people.
Let's go. What's happening, man?
I don't know if it's today's Thursday or Friday or Saturday. It's one of these days.
It don't matter. It's pod day. Let's go.
It's Basil Hayden day.
It's Basil Hayden. Yeah. How you been? It's been a minute.
No, man, listen. We got shit going on. I know we got kids and shit, man, but we gotta, we can't be skipping weeks no more, man.
Yeah, no, we done with that. We back on it. We back on it, man. I know. I gotta stop fucking around.
This has been a crazy month for me, man. Like a lot of shit going on. We got, obviously birthdays, Mother's Days, proms, graduations. It's been a lot, man.
Dude, you got two high school graduates now, man.
Yeah.
Two adults, man. That's crazy.
You know what's funny, man?
And it's your firstborn, so that's even like it's a little more impactful.
Yeah, you know what's funny, man, is that there's people not only in my own family, but in my sort of my outer circles, right, circle of friends that have kids the same age that I graduated this year. And it's funny, just like how many fucking people that I know that had kids in the same fucking year is insane.
Yeah, dude.
And I feel like I had kids late, bro. I had kids in my 30s. Like my first other kid, I think I was 33.
Okay.
So
it's a little later. Yeah.
It's just, normally, there's a lot of people that have kids in their 20s.
That's probably a good age, though. I was gonna say it's later, but it's probably a good age. Like,
I would say definitely for me it was. I do look at some other folks, like even like yourself. I have another friend who had kids really early, and like I know like one of them in particular, he had one kid, and he had him early, like at 20. So like at 40, the kid's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And so he was in his prime of like earning years, right? And his kid is like off on his own, and yeah. So that was,
dude. We talk about this on here. Like I wanted to be a dad young, and I couldn't wait.
When did you realize that?
Man, I think.
I mean, like 18 years old. You think about having a kid, bro?
Yeah, I'm not thinking about like I want to have a kid tomorrow, but I was never like afraid to have them, if that makes sense, right? Like I was never like, yeah, fuck that. Like I was, I feel like I was always kind of ready. It was just a matter of time, kind of thing.
You sound like a woman.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know how women, you get them girls in high school that be buying wedding books and shit.
Yeah, I think I wasn't. I wasn't like that. I had zero interest in getting married. But what I wanted was like I
just want to knock somebody up. Spoken like a true Puerto Rican.
I wanted to practice. I wanted to live up to my my people's purpose in life, but.
Cut the lights off.
But fucking, like,
she might end up pregnant.
I was never. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get anybody pregnant when you're young. But I just remember from really young being like, I can't wait. And a lot of it had to do with like what you just said. I was like, I don't want to be hobbling around, trying to keep up with my kids. I want to be 40 and my kids are grown and I can go enjoy a drink with them. And I'm in the prime of my money making years and I can go do whatever the fuck I want. And I can actually still enjoy it.
Good insight.
Like the idea of being like fucking 60 something and my kids are graduating from high school and now I can go do whatever I want just sounded horrible to me.
Thank you for not saying 50 something.
Yeah, I was gonna. I'm not gonna lie. My initial instinct was I was gonna say I want to be 52, and then I was like, this motherfucker.
You done fucked up my shit.
You done fucked up my whole thing. But it's like, the idea of like people like have kids late, and then I'm like, but then when you can enjoy being sort of free and traveling and doing whatever, like. You're too fucking old, like, and maybe you can't, or maybe it doesn't happen, or maybe it's not guaranteed, like, and I know there's a flip side to that is a lot of people sort of get that out of their system younger, but I guess the way I've always looked at it is like my money making years and my ability and to sort of like be able to do that and have disposable income is going to come later, right? And so I couldn't wait, like, in that aspect. And I also, man, like I have a son like who, and my daughter like this before, I'm like, man, I want to be able to go play with them outside and run and thing and not sit there and be struggling to keep up with them and that sort of thing. Like, dude, the day my son beats me at any sport, I'm gonna be fucking sad. Like right now I can still beat him at stuff, like, and I know it's gonna come eventually, right? There's gonna be like the 18-year-old boy and all that, but like to me, if I want to still beat you at basketball in the driveway, you know what I mean? Like, and not because
let him go up 9-1 and then he'll come crush his dreams.
And then just come crush his dreams, and I can still do that, but without having to try hard, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, I couldn't wait to do it, but
no, that's good, man. All right, man. Welcome back, everybody. We already got started, man, but you gotta give the intro. Welcome back, everybody, to the Carbon Footprint Podcast. He is Juan, and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with a drink of the day.
Listen, this one is really good, and it might be a first. I don't know. We've had 200 and some drinks on this at this point in time. I'm starting to lose track. This will be episode 226, so, we've had 226 different drinks, with the exception of the wines we had very early on. It was mostly
and
wines.
We've done some repeats, but not many, man.
Not many. Yeah, I mean, the old fashions get repeated a lot and all that, but like when we do different kinds. So I'm sure we've had a variation of this somehow, but we did this orange bourbon sour. It's really good. There's Basil Hayden. I've never tried this specific one. It's a dark rye Basil Hayden. So it's in a glass shaker filled with ice. Do 2 ounces of the basil. Do 2 ounces of orange juice. Half ounce of maple syrup. Half ounce of lemon juice. About 2-3 dashes of orange bitters. Shake that up. Pour it in a rocks glass with a ball of ice, or empty, just as long as you get it real chilled. And then garnish with thyme and an orange wedge. And that's it. It sounds a little more complicated. It is really good. It's so refreshing. The first one, I think I literally chugged like I was drinking just regular juice, and I had to, pretty much pace myself there because I knew I was going to get in trouble.
This one goes along with the last one we had too, man, which is just like the refreshing kind of pool drink. And if you guys are in Florida, you know how hot it's been. But I spent yesterday at Epcot, and it was 94 degrees, and it felt like 102.
It's so brutal lately, man.
It's really
I did
bad,
Universal
man.
with my son a few days ago.
Yeah,
for a school
how was that?
trip.
Same shit?
Oh, so hot.
Dude, I came home and I jumped in the pool.
Yeah, I could see that.
I just jumped in because it was like my body was starving for fucking fluids. I think I took a jug of water out there and just jumped in the pool just to hydrate inside and out.
And also, like, people who don't live in Florida are like, you got a pool?
Yeah, right. I'm also 51, and I've lived in my house for 30 years. Or, no, not 30 years.
You bought that one,
close.
Right? You're the original owner,
it's my
right?
original. Yeah, man. Yeah. I bought that shit when I was 24.
Wow. Yeah. Fuck. Dude, 24 you were when you bought that house, man?
Yeah, dude, 24, man.
So you had just gotten here from the military, gotten back, right?
Yeah. You know what's funny, man, is that, and this is probably, I should say a good lesson, but it was like sort of one way to do it. My family, and my mom mostly, when I was a kid, for Christmas and for birthdays and stuff, I used to get U.S. savings bonds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mother would always take them and stick them somewhere, and I never saw them. And when
that's such an old person thing to do.
It is.
Yeah. Nobody does that anymore. But
when I joined the Marine Corps, so I joined the Marine Corps at 20. And I also got married at 20. And when I was 23, I came down here because I knew I was getting out in a year, and I was like, okay, well, I want to, want to buy a house. Well, my mom, when I got married, she was like, yo, here's all your savings bonds from when you were a kid, and I had like $10,000.
I was gonna say, because a $50 savings bond will be worth like $600-700 20 years.
It wasn't
later.
that much, but yeah, it was. They were worth at least, like the $100 ones were worth probably 3 times the amount.
Oh, okay.
And so I had I had enough, and it was like $10,000, and so it at the time, I think it was like that plus the money that I saved, I was able to put a down payment on the house and cover closing costs. With those fucking bonds and money that's saved from being in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Fucking A. I just sold the first house I've ever bought. But I didn't buy that house till I was in my 30s. I'm trying to think.
So having a house, I remember you saying like it's better to rent.
Yeah.
What
I stand by that.
Yeah, you still think that?
I ran the math. I ran the numbers. That's what I got.
Yeah.
It's now. Listen, here's the thing: is like I say that to say that the house you live in is a liability. It's not an asset, right? Like, and you're never going to change my mind from that.
It's an asset if you rent it.
It's an asset if you rent it out. So the home that you live in is absolutely an asset. Or a liability. It is not an asset. However, there is a value to the comfort. There's a value to having your own space. There's a value, like, to me, it's like, as long as you understand, like, it's not an investment. Like the home you live in it's definitely not an investment. It's every once in a while you get lucky and you buy to some crazy crash, right? And you can sell for exponentially more. Most people, however, what I find is that they don't do the math on like a investment, right? Like I go, if you bought a house and you did the 20% down and you paid $500,000 for this house and you did, whatever, right? If you take that same like math, right? And you just go, if I spent the $3,000 on a mortgage instead of on a rental, and then instead of a mortgage, and then I took that, I don't know, let's just pick a number for the sake of picking a number, and say it's $50,000 that I put down on this house, right? And you take that and you put it in an index fund, or you put it in some other kind of like, the S&P 500 has gotten 23-24% returns the last 2-3 years. I go, that would have been a better investment than buying a house, right? So like, to me, I'm not telling people like, hey, don't buy a house and then whatever. Right. It's like, if you're looking for an investment, it's buy the house, and then the money you would have taken as a down payment, or the extra money you would have put into maintenance and interest and all that stuff, and put it into investments. There's a far greater return in just doing basic low risk investments like index funds and the S&P 500 and the Dow and whatever. Like, especially in the last few years. Dude, I ran the math even on the interest I paid. Like, I go, even if I cleared a couple $100,000 from my house, right? Like, basically like buying price to selling price. But then I go, how much interest did I pay in the 6 years I owned it, right? How much did I put into it in terms of maintenance that I wouldn't have paid had I rented it, right? Somebody else would have paid that, right? And then I did all that math, and I found out that I broke even at best. Even doubling the price almost of what I paid for it, I broke even at best. Like, and because most people go, I bought a house for $100, I sold it for $200. What they don't say is, yeah, but I paid $12,000 in interest in those, maybe 2 years, 3 years that I held it, or whatever. The number's usually greater, but they don't. I paid this much in home insurance. I paid this much in property tax. I paid this much in repairing things. I paid this much. And again, not that you wouldn't. Some people go, well, yeah, but if you're renting, you never get that money back. Yeah, you're assuming that when you're renting, then you're not doing anything with the extra money you have spent in that. What I'm saying is if you take that money that you would have spent on those other expenses and you just dump it into a basic investment, your return would have been greater. Not that you would have been more comfortable, not that any of this stuff. It's like, as I'm looking at it as a pure investment, is if you take that money that you dumped into this house and put it into almost anything else that's not a high risk investment, I'm talking like the safe shit, you get a far greater return. There are exceptions to every rule. You bought during the 2008, 2009 crash, right? And 2 years later, your house is worth triple. Good for you. Yeah, that's a once in a lifetime an anomaly that happens to most people. Yeah, but in most cases, the house that you live in is absolutely a liability.
Got that money pay.
And yeah, it is. And again, but I think if you know that going in, there's a comfort in that. You're paying for your kids to have stability. You're paying for the comfort to have that. You're paying for it's like, but is it a good use of 20% of your cash on a $500,000 to $1 million house, especially now, like where we live?
Oh my God, yeah.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. But yeah. So you gotta you might
I went in at a good time.
Yeah, because also too, the longer you live in it, right, usually the worse off it is, right? And then there's like a balancing act there. You got in so early and you're sort of at the end point of it that it'll work. It'll end up working out for you.
No, man, and I feel like and again, some of this shit is like, I haven't done the math on the maintenance and everything else and the interest, right? I haven't.
Don't do it.
No, I won't. I don't want to be disappointed. Now,
I've set myself. I kept a spreadsheet.
Yeah. And there's things that I've gotten out of it, right? So like when I wanted the pool, right? I sort of pulled out equity from the house to get a pool. When I wanted to do prepaid college for my kids, not even saying that was the right thing, right? I think hindsight 2020, I should have did the 529.
Yeah.
But whatever, I did it this way.
Yeah. You did something.
You make the best choices that you can at the time with the information at hand.
Yeah, what you have available.
Right?
Yeah.
And so those things, I sort of justify that home, and I go like, that thing allowed me to do this stuff for my kids, to get extra comforts. I've taken out equity loans on it, to pay for stuff like so.
Same, yeah. I've done that. I've also been able to leverage the equity in the house into other things. But also, you end up having to pay that back, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And that also eats into like this. Which again, some people are like, oh, but if you pay rent, all that money is gone. And there's certainly the argument of like as a storage of value. or like almost like a bank, right? If you're just storing cash and your goal is to pull it out, like sure, you can make that argument. My argument is, as an investment, dollar for dollar return, the home you live in is not one, right? Like that's just been
no, and even the sort of
especially in expensive cities. If you live in fucking Arkansas, sure, but not where we live now. Yeah,
and even the real estate moguls like a Grant Cardone, right, will tell you don't. You know, if you're gonna own a home, like rent where you live, but if you own the asset, then make money off.
Yeah,
it.
I think Grant Cardone strictly like rents what he lives in and then owns the property he rents out. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think we'll see that more and more now. I mean, unless the market changes drastically, I think you'll see more. And I had a decent interest rate on my place, and and even then, you know, when I did the math on interest, property tax, home insurance. You know, I think at some point I calculated that I'd put in like 60, 70 grand in just repairs and upgrades and maintenance and that kind of shit in it. Because again, I was keeping a spreadsheet, and at a point in time I sort of started keeping track, but then I sort of like eyeballed it and like remembered things that I had done, and I'm sure I forgot shit. And so like adding that in, you just go, okay, add $60,000 to the price of the thing. Add, you know, what most people don't realize, if you have a $2,000 mortgage, like $1,300 that is going to interest for the first however many years. Right. It's like, do that math. What's $1,300 over a 12-month period? And then do that over how long you've owned it. And then again, that very quickly eats up $100,000 without you realizing it. Yeah. Right. So
typically, man, like you'll pay at least double. Like over the 30-year loan, you'll pay
if you have
double.
a 30-year loan, even at 3, 4, 5%, you're paying. If you have a $300,000 house, you're paying $600,000. That's right. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, but you know, it's still. I think there's a value in the experience. There's a value in having it. I think there's an understanding of like when you're paying for stability for your place to live, for not having to move, for being able to do what you want, for that, you know, that sort of thing. There is a dollar figure associated with that buys you comfort, and I understand that. Yeah.
All right, man. What you got for carbon footprint? I don't even know how we got into that.
This one's selfish as fuck. Me neither. I don't remember. But my carbon footprint is going to this group in UCLA. And it's very selfish because they may have cured baldness, and as someone who is potentially going bald, I don't fucking laugh that hard, bro.
I'm not, because look, if you're looking at the YouTube video, I got the hairline starting to recede.
I'm not even gonna show y'all mine, but I'm sure y'all can see it depending on some angle. I see the comments. Fuck you.
No, just blur it out.
I'm gonna blur it. Yeah. That's a good idea. I'm just gonna blur it out.
We'll get more views.
Yeah, blow my whole fucking fuck you. Also, just don't forget to hit like and subscribe right around Sean. But yeah, UCLA, man, these guys, there's been a breakthrough in a molecule that they found called PP405, and it was developed by UCLA scientists William Lowry, Heather Christock, and Michael Jung. It has shown major promise in early human trials, reawakening dormant hair follicles and triggering full strand growth after just a week of topical use. A week. So
it's like a cream?
Yes, so topical. So a cream, and you rub it, or a foam, whatever, and you rub it on top of your head, and within a week they're seeing like noticeable results in percentage. And like you compare that against like things that exist today, like minoxidil, they tell you 6 months to a year before you might see like either a slowdown or maybe some regrowth. But most of these products promise like it'll sort of like slow down the effects. Or finasteride, it's 6 months to a year. And then like finasteride will be like, oh, you might get some hair regrowth, but you won't be able to get hard again. So I'm like, why the fuck do I want my hair if I can't get hard again? Make me bald then. It's the same shit. If I already don't want people to fuck me, just take my hair. I'm like, bro, I always laugh because, like, you know, there's some girls who'll be like, oh, guys look hot bald, or like some guy. I'm like, yeah, you didn't see them with hair on, and if you had a choice between the two, I promise you're picking the guy with hair. And then
that's why I cut mine off at 20 and left it. Because I'm like, nah.
You set her up for disappointment early on.
Early on, bro. It's like, you're gonna like me.
So now
like
she's
this,
like, oh, I love you, Bob.
Yeah, that's it.
Good move. I should have done that.
I've been this way forever.
Yeah, no. Now I'm just setting up for disappointment. My girl's gonna be like, well, what about, have you ever been to UCLA? But
I heard they got a cream.
That is very selfish. It's a very selfish one because I'm like, you know who's going to be the first in line? Because there's still, obviously, we're in fucking America, so it has to get approval for all this shit for them to roll it out. But it's very promising. They have submitted it, I think, for FDA approval. So it's still pending, and they're saying that could take a few years.
Dude, I feel like it's going to be one of those drugs that be like, side effects are internal bleeding. Fucking
anal hemorrhaging and all that. As long as I can still get hard, I'll take it. Because the sound effects of the one now is like, your dick won't work. I was like, then I don't need my hair.
I don't need
same effects. Like,
else.
Yeah, if I wanted women to not look at me, I wouldn't want the hair. Like, the fuck? Well, how cruel is that shit? Like, yeah, you can have your hair, but you can't get a hard on for the rest of your life. Like,
not limited to death.
I'm good. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, the side effects are going to be wild, bro. It has to be, right? It's going to be like anal bleeding, fucking Tourette syndrome, like which I am okay with. But I'm like, do I get a full head of hair?
May turn you autistic.
Yeah. I'm like, already there. I already separate my M&Ms into colors, so what's up? Joke's on you.
So they're saying a couple years for this to be approved?
There's just based on like the current FDA trends and how long they take to approve shit. They're saying it's already been submitted, but it's pending. But it could take a couple years. Like with the FDA, you just never know.
Dude, I wonder if
somebody needs to just buy them out.
I was going to say
some politicians.
I was going to say, man, I wonder if something like a bigger company, maybe like a Hims, comes in and goes like, no, like we have the inside track to FDA, right? Like they've already approved our stuff. We have the process down again. I don't know how this shit works, but you imagine that there's companies out there that have already gone through their process and they go like, yep, we'll buy that for X amount of dollars because we know what it takes to push that through.
I wonder if you can do that because what happens with medicine is that the company that invents it has like a copyright or a trademark on it for a long, it's like 20 years or something.
I believe that.
Don't quote me on that, but it's like a long time. So no one can duplicate it. This is why you don't get generics of certain drugs. Like, when something first comes out, it's like for the first, however many years, it's so expensive and there's like nothing you can do about it because you can't go anywhere. And then what will happen is the market, it opens up and so the sort of formula is no longer proprietary or no longer exclusive, I guess. And then so these other companies are allowed to make generic or bootleg versions of it. I learned this like through Mark Cuban's Cost Plus, where he was saying he basically had to wait for you go on his website, he has like a limited set, and he's like, I can't use all of it because I have to basically wait until there's no longer sort of like a trademark or a patent that isn't valid on the drug. So once that expires, he's allowed to sort of make his version of it. So I wonder if something like this, like you're right, like because if Hims or somebody like that goes like, hey, we'll just buy it from you guys and we'll pay for we'll pay some fucking politician who's in our back pocket already to just sort of help just push it along. Like maybe you have to imagine something like this is gonna make so much fucking money. Like, oh yeah, there's gonna be, especially if you make it to where it's something, dude. I would bet that you could. I don't know if you have to stay on this or whatever, but if you just told like guys, you got to pay $1,000 a year to fucking have this medicine, and you're gonna keep your hair forever, and the side effects are like, whatever.
Yeah, if they're not crazy,
right? Most people will probably figure out a way to do that. Yeah, pretty quickly. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
$1,000 a year really ain't shit if you think about it.
Whatever it costs, because
you pay more than that for cable.
Yeah, also pay more than that to have to be bald and be fucking be ugly.
All right, man. My carbon footprint is going out to. I don't even know who I'm giving it to. I feel like I'm gonna give it to New York.
New York, okay.
All right, and this is as it relates to the Knicks. So the NBA, the Knicks. Yesterday was game one. They had it was a phenomenal playoff game. Not if you're a Knicks fan, and I am rooting for the Knicks to win.
Are you trolling the Knicks right now?
I am not, man. I'm not. I'm rooting for them to win. However, they blew a 17-point lead in game one against the Indiana Pacers, and
no. You got to be more specific. They blew a 17-point lead in how much time?
Oh, in like the last 4 minutes.
I said that's what makes it fucking great.
That's
and
true. Yes.
With a minute to go, they were up double.
They were
digits,
still
right?
up 9 with 54 seconds left. Or
and something like 20-something points were scored in 58 seconds or something by the Pacers. It was something. I saw some headline. It was like ridiculous.
I don't know how many points it was, but it was like in the last like few minutes of the game, Indiana shot 70%, which is insane. So
yeah,
like,
and I didn't get to watch the game. I know you
right.
You did. Yeah.
And so and you know, I feel like the headlines were like Knicks, you know, like choke or Knicks like meltdown. It wasn't that, bro.
It's like sometimes
there was the Indiana Pacers freaking shot an ungodly percentage. Like this shit doesn't happen. One guy got on fire and essentially just started raining threes and hit like 6 in a row. It was stupid, bro.
Dude, I didn't watch the game, but like when you were explaining it to me before, that's like a perfect description because I think sports fans like we're super unreasonable and we're passionate. Obviously, there's a lot of emotion involved, but there is a difference between a choke job and then someone winning a game. Like there's a difference between someone losing and then someone winning and someone just taking over and doing like an all-time great prolific thing where you just, like you said, you score 21 points in like a fucking 2-minute span, and you're a guy who isn't known to shoot maybe a high percentage from three, but you hit fucking 6 in a row. It's like that's Steph Curry, highlight reel, career wise. It's like they're gonna play that as that guy's career highlight thing. He'll never do that again, right? And that's Reggie Miller. What was it? Fucking Reggie Miller, 18 seconds,
8 points in 18 seconds.
Yeah. It's like that's that, right? And coincidentally, it's the same team and all that shit. Like 28 years later, or whatever it has been, or 25 years later. But
and then, of course, Reggie Miller happens to be calling the game.
What a fucking romantic.
It really is.
I'm bummed that I missed the game because you
couldn't really write it anymore. And then the shot that actually tied the game at the buzzer is shot by Tyrese Halliburton, right, which is their star, the Pacers star. It looks like a 3-pointer that wins the game. And the fucking thing hits the back iron, bounces straight up in the air, like literally like up in the air about 7 feet, and then fucking drops dead into the hole. Very reminiscent of
the Kawhi Leonard, Toronto Raptors,
Very reminiscent of that. It looked like a 3-pointer, and his toe was on the line, so it was a 2. So they tied the game. They go into overtime, and then they win in overtime. It was not a meltdown by the Knicks. This was just something that was crazy. It was like a comeback that I hated to see,
right?
But I love to see as a sports fan.
Yeah, you're almost glad you witnessed it, but you're bummed that it happened, kind of thing. But
and dude, like New York has been New York City has been insane. The obviously the Garden is packed, and that if you've ever been to the Garden,
I've seen the videos.
Fucking
of the
crazy.
People. Yeah.
And they've gotten like this. They've like every game has a fucking block party outside.
So fun, man.
Which I think they dispersed them in game 1 because they broke shit from the last from round 2.
I don't even know about that, bro. Every time they interview some Knicks fan after the game or before the game, and they're just like, "How was it?" Like, "Fuck Tyrese Halliburton and his mama and his fucking sister, Knicks in 5." Yeah, they're just fucking losing their shit, and you're like, "But wait a minute, you guys already lost 2," and they'll still be like, "Knicks in 5."
They'll bring up shit. They'll be like,
"Oh my god,
fuck
bro.
Michael Jordan."
Yeah, fuck yeah, right. Don't just say some irrelevant shit. Karl Malone's a fucking bum. And you're like, what? We're talking about the Pacers from today. Yeah, but it's so fun. There's nothing to me like, maybe I'm biased to this just because of like my proximity to growing up in that area in the tri-state area and doing that. But like to me, there's nothing like the Garden in the playoffs. There's nothing like Yankee Stadium in October. There's just nothing like it to me, man. And then I know that's
sports,
a personal thing.
No, man, dude. Like sports are better, and I don't know. Like I'm not a Giants fan or a Jets fan. I don't know that to be true when the Giants and the Jets are in it. Maybe it is.
They don't. The Giants and the Jets. Don't drive the same passion that the Knicks and the Yankees do.
Right. The Knicks and the Yankees, when they're in the postseason, it's just fucking better.
The energy in the city is different. The everything about it. Bro, I've been to a Yankee game. I remember one time. It was like June, July, and they were playing the Red Sox, and the Yankees and the Red Sox. Obviously big rivalry. even I remember that day being like, even the weather that day was like, it felt like October. It was almost like, nah, the Red Sox are here. We got to get. It was gloomy. Right. It was fucking, like it didn't rain, but it wanted to. It was like, it's like cool out there. And I remember sitting like I had awesome seats to the game, and I remember sitting there going like, this feels like October. And the energy's October, and it was a year where they weren't good. Like the Yankees weren't good, and the Red Sox weren't good. Aaron Judge was like a couple years in. He wasn't like the stud that he is now. He was good. He was like, obviously understood to be sort of the next great. But this is very early on, and I just remember sitting there going like, man, there's like, if there's a God or if there's a thing, it was almost like, fuck, do they sit there and set the stage on this shit perfectly? Like if there's a basketball god or whatever, baseball god or whatever, it's like you couldn't have planned this any better. And I just remember sitting there going like, it's fucking June and it's 60 degrees outside, and it's gloomy and they're playing the Red Sox and the energy was just insane. It's for two teams that were trash at the time, There's something about New York, man. I'm telling you, when teams are in the playoffs, like the Giants don't have that same effect. The Jets don't, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Giants and the Jets don't play in New York. They play in Jersey.
Oh, they play in Jersey. Good point.
I think there's something very different about people riding the train and walking through the city. Because if you've ever been to the Garden, like everybody's just walking in or taking the train in, and you're coming, and it's just like, and so like from the minute you get on the train at the Penn Station, wherever you're coming from, it's a fucking party. It's a pep rally for the Knicks, right? The whole way there. Same thing with the Yankees. It's like you get out the train station in the Bronx and you're going up the staircase and then you sort of converge with the rest of those Yankee fans coming from wherever they're coming from, whether there's a parking lot or whether the other like stations. It's a fucking pep rally, and it's just a bunch of people who sound angry, and you're all just happy as shit to be there. There's nothing.
If
like
you're from out of town, it's just scary.
It's right, yeah. If you're from out of, like I know I've been there with people where I go, it's gonna be all right. Like it's gonna look scary. Like I promise you, these people mean well. Like New Yorkers sound rude to everybody else. I go, yo, if they answer the question, they're being friendly. Right. It's like they're gonna answer it with an attitude. All that shit. But if they even take the time to like, if you ask for directions and they even take the time to give it to you, they're gonna sound like they'd rather be anywhere else. But if they even take the time to give it to you, they're being friendly.
Take it. That's right.
Just take it. It's like, yeah, man. I still think there's nothing like. And I know I'm biased, so it's like to me, Yankee Stadium and New York. And dude, I hope. It's funny, man. I felt like whoever won the Western Conference in the NBA was gonna win this. And I didn't feel that early on. I felt like that once the Timberwolves looked so fucking dominant against Denver.
The Warriors.
And the Warriors, and then Denver. The Lakers, and then the Warriors. It was almost like it almost felt like a fucking like a TV series where you go, man, you're taking out LeBron, right, the GOAT. Right now, and then you're taking out the Warriors, who are the dynasty, that from this. Yep. And it's like, man, is this going to be? Which I would argue, very quick for the the Timberwolves are like 3 year early. If they complete this and they win a title, this is probably 3 or 4 years before they should be a title winning team, because they're certainly built to win a title. They're like on that trajectory. And I thought for sure, if the Timberwolves get by these guys, they're going to win. Like if they win the West, they're going to beat whoever. Now, I don't know, man. The fucking Pacers, I've just been sleeping on them all year. They look good. The Knicks have just been like, you could argue anything you want about that Knicks roster. It's like they're finding ways to win games.
Yeah, bro. And man, how crazy would it be if the Timberwolves and the Knicks end up playing, right? Because remember they
basically traded teams. Yeah, there's like what 3 or 4 players from each side.
Well, they had Julius Randle and DiVincenzo,
Cat Williams,
and then Cat on the other side, right?
Oh, Cat Williams,
not Cat Williams.
Carl Anthony Towns. Sorry,
yes,
fuck.
Close
what the
enough.
Fuck am I talking about? Yeah, they're similar in height. The fuck is wrong with
on opposite ends?
I've had 50-11 of these fucking bourbon orange side.
So no, man. Shout out to New York. Again, heartbreaking loss in Game 1, but bring it back.
I'm bummed I didn't watch that game.
That was fucking.
I got to make it a point to watch.
It was one of those, like the 8 points in 18 seconds, right? Like that shit. The one where Reggie is fucking doing the choke shit with Spike Lee, which the Knicks end up going on to win that series.
Yes, yeah, they do.
But yeah, it was cool, man, because like Tyrese Halliburton, who's a star in the Indiana Pacers, and Jalen Brunson, the star for the Knicks, they were like I don't know. One of them was like just born. The other one was like grade school. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like babies when that shit happened. And then fast forward fucking 25 years and they're remaking what happened back then. That's fucking amazing, man.
Dude, and again, I know this has a lot to do with my proximity to the area, but I would say there are very few memories that I have from a basketball perspective of like moments that I'll always remember that stick with me, right? The Jordan crossover against Russell and hits that shot to win his 6th title is up there, right? It's like one of those things that I'll always remember basketball-wise. Almost every other memory I have involves the New York Knicks.
Really?
Like, and again, I wasn't a Knicks fan. It was just Allen Houston 4-point play. You remember that? Fucking in that playoffs where they go. Oh man, Allen Houston has this ridiculous hits a 3, gets fouled, hits the like it's an all-time sort of like play in the playoffs. It's the year I think they lost to the Spurs in the finals. It was the first championship the Spurs won, like last year for David Robinson, first year for Tim Duncan, kind of thing. It was one of those.
Okay. I do remember that finals. I don't remember that play.
Yeah, the John Starks like pulling off and yoking on
the dunk?
On dudes. Yeah.
Like
it's a fucking John Starks, bro, right? And it's like that's a memory that lives. Like when I think NBA, like all time.
I remember that.
And obviously, listen, there's plays Kobe, LeBron, like later on, the Iverson crossover against Jordan, all that like lives in. But I think of my childhood watching basketball. There's a lot of Knicks highlights in there, and again, it's my proximity to the area. I'm seeing that, it's getting fed that, but. I just remember from a very early age, like thinking, dude, Madison Square Garden, it's the Spike Lee fucking, arguing with Reggie Miller. It's like just all that shit. It was like, it made it entertainment. For me,
the Jordan flu game.
Yeah, dude, it's Broadway, bro.
Right? It is, bro.
It's. I go, yo, it's basketball, but it's entertainment at the highest level, and that's like I think is what you think about sports. Is like at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's a game, it's whatever, but like we watch for the drama, we watch for the entertainment, we watch, and like who better to give that to you than fucking Broadway, right? New York, and just you get to me the most dramatic, the most thing I've always come from like a New York team. Even if I'm not a Knicks fan, like I grew up a Nets fan and then rooting for the Magic. My favorite player of all time was Penny Hardaway, and just like again flashy, very had crazy highlights of shit that just wasn't normal at the time. Now everybody does I think Penny was like a cross between like Magic Johnson and Jordan, right? It was like he had the cool passing and he had the dunking, but I think about all the crazy shit, and it was always the Knicks. And again, and I know that I had a lot to do with my proximity, but it was Jordan, and then it was the Knicks of just crazy shit that I saw. So to me, like just watching the NBA playoffs be this good, and be this good with the Knicks in there is, I love it, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. I need to make it a point to watch more of the games now.
Yeah, dude,
I did watch some of the earlier Knicks ones.
Pretty much every day there's one game on. I mean, we're in the Final Four, and so I want to give credit to so the Pacers. The really like the hero of that game was Aaron Nesmith.
Oh,
he's the one that went for like 21 points in the fourth quarter, hit like 6 3-pointers in a row. It was insane, man, to watch that go down. So I gotta give him his props.
Yeah, man, good for them. I gotta make it a point to watch the rest of it. But next time we'll do this pod, we'll probably have the finals matchup lined up. I'm thinking so.
Close.
We'll have Memorial Day weekend coming.
Close. It'll be close.
Fuck it, it'll be close.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's those games go 7.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Let's get it cracking. Oh, also, it may be a changing of the guard between SGA and Anthony Edwards, and
they're up 2-0 right now. OKC's up 2-0. As the recording of this podcast
just won the
goes,
MVP, yeah.
Won the MVP. Yep.
How crazy would it be if Oklahoma City gets one without Harden, Durant, and Westbrook? Like, who would have thought that? Like, man, they gave up 3 Hall of Famers basically, and who didn't win a title. I know they made it to a finals, but they didn't win one, and then they ended up getting one.
Who they lose to?
Miami.
Remember? Was it Miami?
Yeah. Miami.
So the LeBron Miami team?
Dwayne Wade Miami team. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they lost in the Western Conference Finals. I think they made it to the finals. They lost in the Western Conference Finals to Golden State.
Oh, Golden State. That's probably happened before.
And then the next year, Durant goes over to that team. Isn't that what happened?
You might be right. I feel like they definitely lost in the finals.
Dude, I'm pretty sure, man, that they were up. Right. They were up, and then the Warriors come back and beat them, and then Durant fucking goes to the Warriors because the whole thing was just like, if you can't, like you couldn't beat them, so you joined them.
So, yeah, Miami, 2012.
Yeah. Oh, shit, okay.
They played the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat beat them in the 2012 NBA Finals. Yeah, I just looked it up real quick. Yeah.
I wonder if that was the year after. Was that the year after Miami lost to Dallas?
Yes, I think that's what it was because Miami lost their first attempt at it to Dallas, and then they won one, either year 2 or 3.
No, it was 2, because they went to the Dallas one. I think year 1.
So they beat OKC. I think for the first one, I'm almost positive they beat them like 4-1 or. It was like decisive. I felt like, and then the Miami team lost. Well, the Miami team lost to Dallas, and then they beat them. And then who ended up No, it was the Golden State Warriors. They ended up dismantling that team. Did they? Twice in a row, right? Like the Golden State beat that team.
I didn't think they beat Miami.
Like twice. No,
I don't think so.
I thought they beat Miami twice.
Remember, because they didn't they win? Did they win 2 or 3? With that, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and who's the other guy from Toronto?
Ooh, good question. No, I think 2.
Because they definitely lost to Dallas, but they beat. I guess they beat OKC and they beat San Antonio, which they probably should have lost that to that team too.
Yeah, they beat San Antonio. So 2 in Miami. Yeah, because LeBron has 4. 2 in Miami, 1 in Cleveland, 1 in LA.
Okay.
Who else has won other than Robert Horry? Fucking. Championship with 3. Yo, why don't we include Robert Horry in the GOAT conversation, yo? Anytime anybody's ever used the whole Jordan has 6, LeBron has 4, I'm like fucking.
Horry has 7.
Yeah, Russell has 11, and Horry has we never use that argument. Oh man!
All right, man. Yo, keeping with sports, man. Let me tell you about Caleb Williams, man.
Oh, that's your boy, man. Chicago Bulls, man.
I gotta defend him.
Y'all might need the Pope to come in and help out.
I gotta defend him, man.
Okay.
So.
Ooh, interesting. You're gonna defend him.
I'm gonna fucking defend him, man. Okay. Caleb Williams. It came out that Caleb Williams, so quarterback for Chicago Bears. For those of you who know me, you know I'm a big Bears fan. It came out that he did not want to go to the Bears. His father was discouraging him from going to the Bears, knowing that the Bears would pick him number 1. He actually even considered going to the UFL, which is the United Football League, which is sort of like the lower level, the lower tier professional football league.
Work for Doug Flutie to go to Canada.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And just not to go to the Bears organization. And
how much you have to hate?
How much do you how much do you have to go? Like you're like that organization is not good.
It's gonna set me up for failure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so here's my thing. So like, and I think immediately as like a fan of a team, you go, man, like what the fuck. But I'll give you this side of it, man. I go, you could think and consider other options, but what is it that you do? That's what matters. And so I go, like whatever your reasoning was for not pulling out, for not saying that you're not going to go there, for not saying that you're not going to report, for not, pulling out and going to the UFL.
Yeah.
You stuck with it. Like, sure, you considered all of the other options because of, and you can't blame him based on their history.
No, he's right.
I have been disappointed as a fan for the majority of my life.
Yeah, the rational, reasonable part of you has to go, I understand.
So I'm not mad. Dude, like, I would have, right? Like, you go, like, unless you're, like, a big fan or whatever, if you're talking about career-wise, because you guys got to remember, man, and I know that people put NFL players in this sort of this bucket of you should be fucking happy to be playing a kid sport and getting paid millions of dollars. And in one respect, I can agree with that. But in the other respect, where they don't have freedom, where the rest of us have, like the rest of us have careers that we could go, you know what, I don't like how this is going in this particular
we can move
company,
jobs and nobody blames us.
Fucking move, and everybody applauds and they go like, oh yeah, they were treating you bad, or you left for these reasons. Absolutely, you should go elsewhere. You should go try to find something else. But for NFL players, we make it like like they're just supposed to be grateful for being in this, to being able to make it to this league. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you shouldn't be.
There aren't many careers where your first job sets you up for the rest of your career the way in NFL.
Oh yeah.
Like going to the right destination in the NFL can mean the difference between being Caleb Williams like now versus say Ryan Leaf or fucking dude, Baker Mayfield seeing success now. Was Baker Mayfield a failed product because he went to the Cleveland Browns?
Maybe.
And that coaching staff and that like could he have reached this potential that he's gotten now sooner?
Yep.
You never know. Yeah,
man. So I look at this and I'm like, you know what? It just kind of brought me to, it doesn't really matter what he considered doing. You got to look at what he did.
Yeah, because to his credit, he goes, I met with the GM. Like the story, I haven't seen a lot about it, but what I saw was like he met with Ryan Poles, he met with the head coach, he went back to his dad and said, I want to go. And they went through with it. But you can't you can't be upset because someone questions that when your history has been mediocrity at that position.
That's right.
Especially if you're, it'd be like, for the Bears, I feel like I would feel that way if I was a wide receiver or a quarterback. If you're a linebacker and you're going to the Bears or running back, you would be like, yeah, I'm going to have some success. I'm fine. Right. And yes, I get it. Like, there's the same, we've knocked people for being like, oh, I'm not going to play. Like, you should be grateful to make the team. I also can understand the flip side of that coin where you just go, it's not just about getting on a good team because I want to win. It's about, do I want longevity in the NFL? Because ending up in the wrong situation makes me Mark Sanchez, or it makes me, Matt Castle, or it makes me, I'm trying to think of some like
Eli Manning,
or
Peyton,
fucking who's
Andrew Luck,
Jeff Hasselbeck. You know what I mean? Like it's just if you're not a star or a stud, but you get developed right. Like Tom Brady, it goes to the Raiders, right? Is Tom Brady still the Tom Brady we know?
Yeah, probably not.
Because, and I think we can all relate to this in our everyday jobs. It's like we all have either mentors or leaders or colleagues or whatever that sort of like get either more out of us or they, like the same thing happens in pro sports. So I think, again, credit to him for actually thinking about and doing that. It didn't come out, they kept it secret. It's not like he created all this drama around them and they drafted him and they didn't. Like the fact that it comes out afterwards tells me someone like in his circle or wherever just wanted,
it's just like, dude, like when I read it, I go, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Mm-hmm. He went out of the Bears. I'd be like, yeah, duh. Like in terms of like, if you're a quarterback, right? Like I get it. Like, again, if you're a quarterback, you're like, fuck, this team historically hasn't developed quarterbacks well. Historically hasn't had, doesn't throw the ball, doesn't light us up. It is a cold weather city. It's fucking freezing. It's windy. It's what, like there's all this stuff against you as a quarterback where you're almost set up for failure. And also, man, there's got to be a challenge there where you just go, your ego goes, oh, I want to be the first. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I'm sure there's some of that too, right? Like your ego goes, nobody's done it, but I can. Like, and that plays into it. I'm sure, but you can't. I don't know, man. To me, I will never question someone trying to do what's best for them. Like as it comes to their livelihood and sort of their longevity in something, man. We get so caught up in the fact that he'll make millions of dollars, but it's like if Caleb Williams makes $6 million on a 3-year contract and never gets a deal again, Caleb Williams is broke by the time he's 25. It's like, and all we look at is, but he got $6 million, and it's like, no, he got 2.5 because after he paid agents and taxes and yada yada yada, he got 2.5, and $2.5 million at 22 years old is supposed to last you the rest of your life when you've only been this, so now you got to go get a road job. It's like it's not a lot. Now he's just us. So it's yes, he's very fortunate. No, it's not minimum wage. I'm not blind to that, but it's also he has to look out for himself.
Yeah,
and I think his long-term financial gain. Yeah.
Staying with money, man. Like, what's up with this Walmart comp plan? What you got going?
Have you seen this shit,
I have
dude?
not, but I'm very, very interested.
I'm going to just tell you that I may have applied for a job at Walmart.
Speaking of switching jobs.
Dude, yeah, Walmart.
Caleb, if it don't work out with the Bears.
Yeah, fucking go to Walmart. Probably pay you more money. Bro, I've applied for 16 jobs at Walmart. I've been turned down for all of them right now. But Walmart will be paying over $600K to their top managers, and lower tier managers will be making up to $420,000 a year.
What?
And I'm gonna give you a breakdown of this shit.
Okay,
bro.
hold on, bro. Like,
so Walmart has announced significant.
Are we talking about like a bakery manager? Are we talking about like
store manager?
Store manager.
Yeah. So they increase their increases hit their managerial positions. So market managers who oversee multiple stores will see their base salaries rise from $130,000 to $160,000, right?
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, and I mean I don't mean
No,
that.
I mean a 30K increase is good.
Yeah, 30K increase to oversee a market, right? So a region. However, with the inclusion of annual stock grants of $100,000, so they get $100K in stock.
Yeah, right. So now you had 230.
And potential bonuses of up to 100% of their base salary. So bonus of straight cash bonus. So another 160 you could hit in cash bonus, and the 100K. Their top earning market managers can reach up to $620,000 per year, is what they're saying.
Wow.
So $100,000 bonuses up to 100% of their base salary. So total comp for top earning market managers can reach up to $620,000 per year. Store managers will also experience a bonus in compensation, a boost in compensation, with average salaries going from $117 to $128. However, they are eligible for bonuses of up to 200% of their base salary. So if you're a store manager making $128, you could get 200% of your base salary. So now do the math on that. That's $236K, right, a year that you could get in just a bonus, cash bonus.
Right.
And then you still get the stocks. And then their total compensation is approximately $530,000 a year to be a Walmart store manager.
Wow.
So with that said, I'm gonna need y'all to visit the Walmart in Orlando. Bro, I almost immediately started applying for jobs because I'm like, how hard is it? First off, they got no employees ever anywhere. It seems pretty stress free. I mean, they ain't gotta manage nobody. Yeah. Ain't nobody pushing back. Ain't nobody trying to climb the corporate ladder. That means the competition is low. I seen the employees there. I'm like, bro, I'm going to be CEO of Walmart by Tuesday if I start tomorrow. I seen what y'all employ. And I was fucking livid. I'm like, have you ever been to a Walmart and met a manager or store manager?
No.
Ever? Have you ever seen one? No, me neither. I want in.
Where's that guy's office?
Walmart, I'll be like, day one, y'all, you know how y'all can save money? Get rid of every register. All of them. Just leave 2. The only 2 you use, that's all we spending money on POS-wise. Y'all don't even need all that other bullshit. Take out other space. Put some shelves there with products.
Self-checkout.
Yeah. Walmart uses no fucking lanes to check out. Like, Walmart is the only place that I know that you have to go out of your way to spend money, and we still do it. The prices are so cheap that we deal with being disrespected and inconvenienced.
Dude, I'm waiting for them to come up with a technology where they can just get rid of all the cashiers.
Oh my, they're gonna, bro.
I mean, I know Amazon has already been doing that shit for years. Right in there, I think in Seattle they have like the actual stores. Maybe it's expanded beyond
I've seen
Seattle.
their employees. Walmart's better off going to the fucking honor system. Even with the people that steal, I feel like you'd break even.
No,
you ever met someone who tells you they work at Walmart?
But
you ever known anybody?
No.
Everybody I know who tells me they've worked at Walmart before, I go, checks out. You and I know someone, I'll tell you off air.
Now I'm really curious, bro. Can you mouth it to me? Hey, we cut the camera. I don't understand that.
Yeah. Bro.
You know what, man? Years ago, when I came out of the Marine Corps, so this is like fucking, back in like 98, I didn't want to go back to Disney because Disney actually, like, now, shout out to Disney, man, but like I left Disney to join the Marine Corps, and when I got out of the Marine Corps, Disney like held my job, right? And it was like I never left.
Yeah, you picked back up seniority wise and all that.
Not
right?
even picked back up, bro. It's like I worked there for 4 years. When I came out from a 4-year stint in the Marine Corps, I had 8 years seniority.
Yo, good for them for, I think, honoring sort of like military service.
Yeah, bro. Dude,
yeah, that's cool. I work for a company, I've worked for Disney as well, but UPS did that same thing.
Oh, really?
When I worked at UPS, there were guys who came back And at that time, obviously, we were in the war in Iraq and all that. And those guys came back, and a lot of them actually had sort of like combat time, and they picked right back up to your point of where they were when they left. You know, a couple years before. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying this is like it didn't even pick back up. This is like I never left.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I worked there for 4 years, and when I got back, I had 8 years seniority. So it was amazing, man. So like, kudos to them. But I remember I didn't want to go back to Disney for whatever reason, and then I did go and apply at Walmart at the time. And then I remember that hiring manager coming out. He looks at me. He's like, "Bro, I could hire you, but like you're overqualified." And I remember at the time he was like, I mean, we're paying like $7.50 an hour. I want to say it was something like that.
What year was this?
1998.
Yo, $7.50 was still more than I got at Disney in 2004.
Yeah, was it still $5.35?
Yeah, Disney paid me in churros back then.
Do you know?
Actually, do you know the churro costs more.
Do you know that's what I made at Disney in 1990?
I believe you.
It was $5.35.
I'm pretty sure I made $5.15 an hour or whatever.
No, $5.35.
I think $5.35 is my raise, bro.
No, it
for a job well done.
They can't go backwards, bro.
I'm pretty sure they did, bro.
They
maybe just for me.
The minimum wage.
I was such a problem child, maybe for me. Yo, Disney.
Yeah, like that's the guy that was crip walking in the audition.
Yeah. Yeah, if y'all got YouTube videos from 2003, 2004 of Goofy, Tigger, or whoever, crip walking, it may or may not be me. Maybe in a Geppetto costume. I'm not saying I did. I'm just saying. Baloo, Geppetto, Jafar, Genie. I'm just saying it could have been me. Aladdin. Bro, I'm trying to think. I'm almost positive, bro. It was $5.15. I did maybe $5.35, and then I went to $5.55. And I remember right before I left, they gave me benefits and some other shit, and it was like $5.85 because of some fucking law thing that passed or whatever. And they were like, "We're gonna give you this much," and I was like, 30 cents more. I made it, you know. But dude, you think about really the math. I made hella money at Disney because I would work crazy overtime, and it didn't feel like it. And you know, I'd be there for 6 days, you know, whatever. Like you never leave
straight.
You'd be like 6 days straight.
Yo,
by day 5, you don't even know what day it is anymore.
Not for nothing. There, you could do that shit. You could find a place to shower, to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah, everything.
I sure did, bro. I had a great time. I survived at that place, and like 7 days later, I'd be like, "What month is it?" And I banked.
Look at my check.
I made more money there making my $5.35 an hour than I did working a full-time job at UPS 5 days a week. Not even full-time. So it was part-time, but it was working like 3.5 to 5 hours a night, Monday through Friday. I made more money just working Saturday and Sunday at Disney. Now, I'm telling you, I got there, break of dawn Saturday, and I didn't leave till like Sunday when it was closing.
It's really Monday morning.
But I had so much fun. And and it was so many hours in a row. It was ridiculous, bro. It was so insane. But I remember at the time being like 5 something, and after taxes, I mean, I'm getting like $4 or like 3 and change if I'm lucky. You know, it was. I think about that now, and I'm like, I couldn't even buy a coffee now with what I made an hour.
Those are good times, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
Dude, what's going on with this U.S. Senate, the no tax on the tips?
Yo, this week, man, I don't know all of the technicalities of it, but I know it was something that like
is that in place now?
The Trump administration. So it still has to pass some other things, but the Senate.
So is it Senate first and the House?
Yeah. Okay. So the Senate, but I think it's already had resistance before, because it was one of those Trump and that administration had already passed his tax plan, and in it didn't include this. Oh, okay. And it didn't include, you know, he said he was getting rid of income tax and all that shit. So all this shit.
I think he was trying to do that shit.
Right. Like none of it was included, right? And there's reasons for that, I'm sure. But it just wasn't. However, the Senate, the U.S. unanimously passed the No Tax on Tips Act. And it was led by a Democratic senator named Jackie Rosen. On Tuesday, pushed the Senate to pass a proposal banning federal taxes on tips. And the senators unanimously approved the No Tax on Tips Act, whilst a similar House plan faces opposition from Democrats and some Senate Republicans. So there's a plan already in the House that's not getting support, but this one in the Senate has. And so, but this still has to go through and get approved and then get sign off from the... Dude, potentially, again, carbon footprint wise, potentially career changing for people.
Oh my God,
life changing for people. does it, if you do it on this, I'm sure we've complained about this on here before. We're in this like really weird tipping culture now where I have to tip fucking everybody who does anything, where it's like, at what point in time should you just get paid a fair minimum or fair hourly wage, so I don't have to tax, or I don't have to tip you to fucking bag my, you know, burrito. Like it's really bizarre right now. Like, yeah, I'm all for tipping for great service, right? Like, you're at a table, think the person does that. Even coffee, like there's some people, and a drink, like there's some people who put more effort into it than others. Like, I get it, but there's some shit where you're just like, I'm at fucking Chipotle and I have to tip the person that just fucking, you spoon the shit into the bowl. Like, you're already gonna pay. Like, it's weird.
Like you're like a glorified
and a lot of
lady.
us get sort of pressured into it, right? Because you're just like, I don't want to be an asshole, but the other part of you goes, the fuck, nobody's tipping me on my job. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, at what point in time is it, like, to me, I like tipping for great service, for above and beyond, for, you know, like, you're doing something for me that's out of the norm. Like, if you're just scooping food into a plate, like, why am I tipping you for that? However, if you're taking my order and you're giving me recommendations and you're moving quicker than normal and you know, like, that shit, I have no problem like tipping you like for that service. Like, I you know, if you're working on my car, you're cleaning my house, you're cleaning my hotel room, you know, that shit, and you go above and beyond the norm and you make me feel some type of way about the service, I'm absolutely gonna tip you more. Like, it's just, but it's the weird shit now where you go to places where you're like, dude, I've seen it on stuff where you just buy an item. Like, I could buy a cup and it'll be like, you know, tip, and you're just like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
like,
and you get those what is it, like those Clover devices, right? Where they turn it around and it's like they give you the tip thing,
and then they're staring at you.
Yeah, I'll be like, nope,
zero. Like,
yeah, nope.
I get pressured into that shit all the time.
Nah,
bro.
I don't pressure shit, bro. Nope.
I need to do better about that shit. I need to do the math on how much I spend on tips on, like, unnecessarily. You know, fuck.
You need to just be how they want men to be all the time, man. Be fine or mad. Dude, I gotta pay you this clip, man. I saw this clip a couple of days ago, and it's from Bill Burr, the comedian.
I love Bill Burr. Okay.
And it kind of goes into this other. There's also a trend on social that's kind of crazy right now. But it's funny as hell.
Is it Bill Burr going on a rant?
He's going on a little rant, and it's about men, and he's basically saying, like, men can be like, we can be two things, fine or mad, and then he talks about the middle area. Yo, listen, let me.
Sad. We're allowed to be one of two things. We're allowed to be mad or fine. That's it. Right? Those are normal behaviors of a man. You can be mad like, Jesus Christ, who put this here? How many fucking times do I gotta say to keep this goddamn area clean? Jesus Christ, somebody's gonna fall and break their fucking neck. I'm so tired of it. Said it once, I said it 100 fucking times. Right? And then what does your wife just fucking rolls her eyes? Just send him out in the yard, let him walk it off. Throw him a beer out there, he'll be fine, right? Yeah, he'll be good, right? You're allowed to be that or fine. How you doing, Bill? I'm fine. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I said it was fine. When the fuck would I say it's fine? Then you're just right back over there. And your whole fucking life is that. And what's weird about a guy is we feel all the other emotions, right? Melancholy, being sentimental, enjoying a sunset, all of that type of shit. But all this in here is just called gay, right?
Yo, he's right though.
So, bro, there's a fucking, he's so right, bro. So there's this new trend on social where guys are calling up, and it's a joke, right? Dudes are calling up, and it's really funny with black dudes. They're calling up their boys to say goodnight.
Not good night.
Yeah,
that's gay.
So dudes, so they call them and it's like, yo man, like, what's up? And they be like, yeah man, what up, man? And it's like, yo man, I'm about to roll in the bed, and I was just thinking about you, and I just wanted to call and say goodnight. And then the other side, and then the guys are like, yo man, you all right? Like, what the fuck? Like, you call it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. If you call or text me good night,
nigga, just come over the house. Like, you better, that's an emergency.
I was gonna say, I'm canceling the pod. We're never doing this shit again.
What? Dude, I gotta play one of these, man. Listen to this shit, bro.
Oh, it's so good.
good, bro? What you got going?
Why was that?
No, I'll just call and tell you good night, bro. Sweet dreams.
Not sweet dreams.
Hello?
What?
What?
Yeah, what do you mean, good night?
I'm about to lay down, bro. I'm about to get in the bed. I just want to call and tell you good night, bro. Sweet dreams.
Yeah, but nigga, why the hell you call? Why are you telling me good night?
I hope you sleep tight, bro.
Yo,
Nigga,
sleep tight as cat.
All right, bro. I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, man. Sweet dreams.
Where do you not going? Sweet dream, nigga. I'm a grown. What's
Yeah, bro. I can't wish that you sleep good tonight, bro.
Nigga, when in the hell have you ever wished it? Why?
All right, bro. I'm gonna sleep tight, so I'm gonna holler at you. All right, bro. All right.
Sleep
Nigga,
tight.
don't call my phone doing this, right? Which mean you gonna sleep tight? Don't. You know what? Where's the red button on this? Hold on.
Yeah, we're not friends
He
no more.
said, "Where's the red button on this thing?"
Oh my god, bro.
Yo,
Nah, he right.
if I ever call you with some shit like that,
I'm gonna assume you got a gun to your head.
Know
bro.
that I am in distress.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna assume you got a gun to your head. Something's up. I'm gonna be like, yo, man. I'm gonna be there in a little bit. Who got you against your will? Nah, bro.
But I
hope you sleep tight. I'd have been like,
But yo, I saw this shit where it was like women are like way better at like keeping good relationships. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and that shit going back to like the Bill Burr thing where it's like, so a lot of times with dudes, like we gotta keep that shit. Like I said, either shit's aight or I'm mad as hell about something.
yeah, there's no in between.
There's like no in between.
Sad. There's no I'm feeling down today. There's
Right,
no,
right, because you don't want to be a bitch.
Nah, I ain't no
Right,
bitch,
like-
bro. Yeah, keep that shit to yourself. Don't
Yep.
tell me about you feeling sad. I even be uncomfortable when motherfuckers share it. They be like, how you doing? And then, somebody actually answers and like, well, my dog died. And I'll be like, well, fuck you for ruining my day now. I don't want to have that. I don't even ask people that shit no more now, unless I could get away quickly. At work,
like-
I fell for that shit too many times. How you doing? Oh, not good. And they give you some fucking story, and like,
Oh, yeah.
my mom's sick, and
Bro, I
this and that.
got a meeting, bro. I gotta get back.
Yeah,
I gotta
man.
get back.
Oh, I gotta run, man. Like, yeah, nah,
Man, that sucks.
dude. But I will say, man, I think in line with that, there is something to like. Like you said, women, like they'll get together and they'll talk and they'll vent and they'll talk shit, whether it's through text, whether it's through like phone calls, in person. They get together, like they sort of vent, and it's okay for them to sort of get that out. And it could be like, girl, like I hate this motherfucker, and here's why, or like
Yep.
it could be about work, it could be about their relationships, whatever. I think as guys, we don't. To your point, like I'm certainly guilty of this, man. I'm so private and so like I keep everything to myself. I keep everything bottled in. I don't talk to guys about this. And I had a conversation with somebody I know recently, and we're both going through like very similar things and all that. And just having the conversation, I brought it up, and I was like, hey, like that sort of like that same thing happened to me, and here's how I went about it, and it helped because of this, and it was weird because like at the time, you're not like meaning to be helpful, but you're sort of just like, again, because guys don't talk about this, you're like, for me at the time, I'm in this position where I'm like, oh, like, yeah, like I've seen this, right? And it's weird because like as a guy, if you told me, man, my fucking AC has been acting up and it's been doing this thing and yada yada, I'm like, man, that happened to me one time and it was this. So go check this, and if it's this and yada, go buy this.
Yep.
Easy fix, man. Save the fucking $500 on a person, right? No problem. We'll have that. We can almost grunt that to each other and we're fucking good, right? But in this scenario, it was like, this person had been going through like a divorce, and he's having issues with kids and yada yada yada, and I've like been in similar situations, and like I'm having a conversation with him, and we're like, and like at like a few days later, he's like texting me like, dude, thank you for the like the conversation, like just this thing you mentioned led to this.
That's dope.
And yeah, but it's funny, man, because like part of me at the time, even having the conversation, I went, oh, this is weird. Should I be talking about this or giving that advice? And it's like,
really?
yeah, and it wasn't like there wasn't anything wrong with it, but it was just like, oh, this is not what we do.
Right.
But I felt so compelled to because I went, oh.
No, you have to. Bro.
I've had this, man.
Right.
Like, hey, just check for this. I've seen this before. Like, don't,
bro, it's the AC. It's right. It's the AC. Oh, you gotta look for this fucking valve.
And as guys, we would fucking talk all day, but my car is making a sputtering noise, and we'll have fucking 4-hour-long conversations about this sputtering noise.
Or like, man, I fucking just paid $800 to change my brakes, and be like, man, you could have bought them bitch for $40 down at the store. We could have did it. You could have brought over a pack of beer. We could have did that shit in the garage.
I'm so guilty about that shit, right, Bree? Because I could be experiencing something in life where I could be fucking drowning, right, and emotionally, right, or whatever. I won't say a fucking thing. Like, like you ever see stories where like something happens to some guy where like he fucking jumps off a bridge or whatever, and people are like, I couldn't have seen it coming. And I go, that's because you guys have no fucking idea what's going through the minds of most dudes 90% of the time. I'm like, I'm never shocked when I hear some shit like that about a guy, because I go, man, if only people understood, and this isn't every guy, like there's some guys who are, are living their life, whatever, and they're fine, and they're they're perfectly open.
They're fine or they're mad.
Yeah, they're fine or they're gay, and they talk about their feelings. The rest of us fucking heteros, like, you keep a lot of shit bottled in, and like I'm certainly guilty of this. Like, I don't like talking about my shit. I don't like talking about shit that's close to me. Like I've been accused of like, bro, that's it. It's like, well, yeah, and it's like, and I know part of that is like sort of training or programming of just like I keep it very surface level, and I just move on, and I'm used to just being able to do that. And I'm not saying that that's what you should do or that's healthy or whatever. Like, I don't know what the right answer is. That's just what we do, right? And like Bill Burr is definitely known to like take comedy and blend it with its like real life experience of like the rants and the anger and all this stuff. And I think he's so popular because he's so relatable, and he's almost a caricature of what like we're experiencing at the time. And it's like someone like him can sort of get that point across, I think, a lot easier than like the everyday male.
Dude, and you'd be surprised, man. So like I had something recently, man, that was really fucking like weighing on me, and I act like it was something that I had to do. But the circumstances, they weren't playing out like they should have, and it was really fucking playing on me. And I remember telling my sister, I was like, "Hey, this thing is going on. It's really fucking weighing on me, and I know on principle I should have done X, Y, Z, but I just needed it off my plate, so I had to take this other route that I probably otherwise wouldn't have taken, because it was really fucking bothering me." And she looked at me and she goes, "Wow, like, nothing ever bothers you." And I thought to myself, like, man, that's what I give off.
But
that's what
in reality,
that's what people think about me, right?
A lot of things bother me.
Yeah, right. Like there's like I'm no different than other humans, right? Shit bothers me. Now, the way that I handle it might be different than you. And then you may look at me and go like, oh, like he's easygoing, and I do consider myself an easygoing guy, but there is shit that pisses me off, and there's circumstances where I go like, this is not right, but maybe the way I handle it makes it appear that like he's just brushing it off, and it's like, no, this is fucking with my peace. So I have to fucking do this thing that makes it look like I'm an easygoing guy, but I'm really doing it to keep my peace.
Yeah, dude. There's a Eminem line in a song that I want to say the song is to his daughter, where he's like, I act like shit don't faze me, but inside it drives me crazy. I feel like the line is like, I act like shit don't faze me, inside it drives me crazy. My insecurities could eat me alive, and it's like a very poignant. I remember hearing that for the first time, being like, I don't know, maybe it's over dramatizing to be like, oh, I'm not alone, but I do remember hearing that, going like, oh, like I can feel that on so many levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously it just makes him a great artist and like very relatable, but like just hearing that song, and also the vulnerability like to his daughter, where he's sort of like writing this song, and the conversation is towards her, and just saying like, I act like shit don't faze me, inside it drives me crazy, and you're just like, man, how many of us can relate to something like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, where you just go, and granted, a lot of us can move on and be okay. I think it's the accumulation of the shit that's not okay, that we do act like it's okay, that ends up ultimately sort of like breaking most people.
Yeah, no, very true, man.
Yeah.
How we doing on time, bro?
Dude, we're hour 13 in.
Fuck.
We didn't think we had a whole lot to go on, man.
No, man. You wanna leave it? You wanna leave it here?
Fuck, man. What do we want?
Oh, you want to do Popeye's manager? Is that quick?
We got to talk about the Popeyes
Do
manager. Yeah, we got to do this shit today, man. So this Popeyes manager, fuck, I got to find the full story. Oh, yeah, here we go. So Popeyes manager in North Carolina. Did you hear about the story?
No.
Story? So he allegedly, I got to use that word, shot a coworker in dispute over burnt biscuits from Popeyes.
What?
Nah, I get it, bro. You ever had a biscuit from Popeyes?
No.
That shit is already a murder trying to happen. It's fucking dry. You choking on it, and then you burn them.
But that's the way.
That's attempted murder, bro. I feel like that's stand your ground. If you shoot somebody who serves you a burnt Popeyes biscuit, that is in Florida. That is known as stand your ground. You tried to kill me. That is attempted homicide, bro.
Are they drier than KFC's?
They're
KFC's are dry.
Yo, them biscuits, bro.
You gotta put a lot of butter and jelly on them.
It's a fucking weapon, bro. And then if you burn them.
It's a hockey puck.
I kind of get it. I go, yo, it's self-defense. How are we firing?
Okay, so hold on.
Why are we putting them in jail?
So who did the fire? So you had Popeye's manager on here.
So he's an employee. So allegedly he shot his coworker. So he's a manager, and he shot because an argument sparked over burnt biscuits. And according to the witnesses, so Rodney Wood, 22, had been arrested. He was the manager, and he got charged with first-degree murder and assault with a deadly first-degree murder and assault with a deadly weapon. I'm like, the biscuit was assault with a deadly weapon. You give me a burnt Popeyes biscuit, I'm gonna assume you trying to kill me. I'm gonna shoot you too, dog. And we fighting to the death.
So do you? So you think that the other Popeyes employees are throwing biscuits at him?
I think
throwing burnt biscuits.
That the person who threw the burnt biscuit deserved to get shot at because that is clearly an attempt at homicide. And the other guy was clearly standing his ground. He was defending himself.
Was it?
You ever had
Florida?
a biscuit? It was. No, it was North Carolina.
Close enough.
It was, North Carolina. That's Florida North. Bro,
we gotta skip.
You ever
Georgia.
had the fucking biscuits from Popeyes? Like, not even water makes it worse. You ever been choking on something and the water makes it worse? And it should just be stuck to the roof of your mouth. And nah, man, if you give me a burnt Popeyes biscuit and I bite into that shit, I'm assuming you're attempting murder. It's on. Gang, we fighting. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm like, this guy stood his ground.
Free the Popeyes manager.
Free the Popeyes manager. What's his name again? Rodney Wood. Free Rodney Wood. Hashtag free the wood. Free the wood, gang. You getting shot. I'm gonna burn you in the Popeyes. I'm setting you on fire. I'm gonna pour spicy sauce on you just cause. Like, no, bro. I saw that shit and I was like, nope. It seems justified to me. It feels like he was just defending himself. I thought we was in this country where you were allowed to defend yourself and we had all kinds of rules letting us have guns.
No, that's just in Florida.
Exactly. Is that it? Maybe it's the Florida boy in me. I'm like, nah, man. What's his name? What was the fat dude who shot the little kid?
The fat dude that shot the little.
Yeah, he got a Jewish name, but he looked like a fat Latino. George Zimmerman.
Dude, I thought the guy was Latino until I seen his last name. I was like, nope, that ain't it.
Dude look Latino. He might be, but he got a fucking Jewish last name. I'm like, he would have got away with it here.
Yeah, he had the Latino defend him.
Oh, Baez.
Baez.
Right,
yeah,
bro.
man, yeah.
But did he have Baez defend him too?
Yeah, that's why. Remember, Baez got him off and the child killer.
And Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
And then he almost got Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez hung himself like,
yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
He didn't hold out.
Cuck. He could have waited out. Yo, Cubans really do be getting themselves out of tough situations, bro. Fucking shut up, Baez. Goddamn, bro.
Yo, on that, tell them where they can find us.
At the Common From Podcast on Facebook, at Common From Podcast on YouTube, at Common From Podcast on Instagram, at Common FP Pod on TikTok. Make sure y'all hit the TikTok. I know a bunch of you guys on TikTok. People like, subscribe. Go on that. TikTok is big right now. It's obviously the most popular platform. So get us going on there. At Carbon FP Pod on X, and then anywhere where you get your audio, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Podchaser, all that. Go in there, subscribe, like, just listen. 84 trash, just listen and tell us we're trash in the comments. Definitely leave a review if you're listening through Apple Podcasts. That actually helps a bunch to get us up in the algorithm, or Spotify. Leave us a review. It could be 1 star, it could be 5. We want to know the honest feedback. So I'm not sensitive. Well, I say I'm not sensitive, but we're not allowed to talk about nothing because I'm fine.
And I'm mad, And as always, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Bye.